accustomed to stretching. Just so you all know, stretched muscles feel much healthier than bulky muscles. We were having a little discussion about that a little earlier. So if you are going to work with a lot of weights, it would be wise not to do too much of it unless you want to get really big, because there's some things that happen as you grow older with a lot of muscle mass. The diet will play into it, and if there's any kind of fat that's starting to form, it will marble through the muscles first, and then it will become subcutaneous. So you may be putting yourself in a position to be rather bulky your whole life. And if you do want to do that, I would strongly urge you all to use a lot of stretching, some kind of yoga class, some kind of dance class, something that's going to get you lengthened. Plus, the bodybuilding doesn't tend to, it's more mechanical the way that it works. So the yoga movement allows for better range of motion in all of the spinal processes and the joints and everywhere. So there's another advantage to stretching and moving. And movement is something that should be considered static, although it all can be beneficial if it's well balanced for the body type. But movement, in my opinion, and from my experience, is really what's going to keep you in the best shape. Because then as you grow older, you're not going to lose so much of your stretch or your flexibility. You'll be able to move with grace, and it really helps, like if you have a fall, when you're more flexible and your joints are not seizing up, because when you do make a fall, you can catch yourself better and not maybe break a hip or something like that. Sometimes falls are just falls, but I know for myself, I've had some pretty wicked falls, and I've caught myself remarkably well. And oftentimes people think I did that on purpose. It was so graceful. So I just urge all of you to pay attention to what it is you're doing to yourselves, to your bodies, as you're getting onto your new programs of fitness or diet or exercise, and study a little bit. Make sure that it's what you want and not being pressured by what seems to be vogue for the moment. So I'm working the same way that I work other backs, going around the shoulder blades, and now we're coming down into the low back area. And because there's a lot of flexibility movement that she does, there's not that ripply effect down here at all. It's very smooth. So those of you who are in the business, in the industry of body working, if you begin to pay attention to how the muscles feel differently with the kind of activity a person does, you will be able to pick up some helpful information, a different way of doing things to give them greater benefit. It seems like everything becomes so commercialized. I mean, even exercise becomes so commercialized, and money making and producing and all that, that we continually stay a little more detached to it all, because it's an investment in things and going to a place. And not that there's anything wrong with that, but there's just so many other ways of keeping yourself in a healthy way. A lot of activities, so it's good to find a good fit for you. And just don't be pressured. Stay individual. Stay focused on what you need. Oh, I'm just coming up the back. This is the normal routine. This is a routine I've been doing for 25 years. It's very natural in my hands, of course, by now. But I continue to do it when I'm starting out with people or relaxing people, because it's thorough. It covers the muscle groups. It moves from one muscle group to another with ease. It allows me to go deeper where I need to and gentler where I need to. It allows me to see where the stresses are, where the tension is. And it's just a good one. People on the table have always enjoyed it, and sometimes some of the more arrogant massage therapists I've run into over the years have found out when they get under my hands that it's a pretty good workout for them, very relaxing and very thorough. Whereas by watching it, perhaps there's a lot of criticism that it's too light, or it's this or it's that. But things about body work, things about all of this kind of stuff is more of an experience than something you can explain or even witness. So begin to be mindful of some of that as well. So if we, just all of us, begin to connect back to our body and begin to schedule into our day things that are good for us, begin to back away from the food that is just commodity food and food that doesn't give us life. If we stopped running to Western medical facilities for things we think are wrong when it might not be anything that severe, begin to tune into ourselves and see what we can do, the society would be completely different. And I'm of the mind that good food, good water, good air, if we focused on keeping our legislators, the people who are supposed to be taking care of us, rather than allowing them to continue to dump fluoride in the water and take on things that are harmful for us, forcing vaccinations on kids and all that kind of stuff, we would see a society that is very healthy. The problem is that it's a business, and it's a very profitable business. And unfortunately, humanity is the merchandise. And I say that not to be critical. I say that because I want you, all of you out there, to begin to think differently. Humanity won't survive if it continues like this. And the only way it's going to change is if each one of us will make those steps. It's kind of like we can't start a truth movement because you can't just get a group of people that want to do something in a certain area, like finding out the truth or learning things about their body. It's more like the truth or something good and something exciting and something well and upward will move you. So if you really feel like you want something to change, rather than waiting for groups of people or hives or mindsets or whatever to kind of move in, so you have to do it with somebody, just look at yourself and realize if you're moved by it, then you just move into it, and it doesn't matter what the other person is going to do or not do. If they want to choose a different path, then let them do that. But don't wait on a movement, because movements are very hive mind in a lot of ways. They're very herd mentality. And I've found the most censorship coming out of small groups of people who suggest that they're spiritual, speak something differently than what their mindset is about. They're not going to be open to learning anything. So that's part of the healing process, from what I've experienced, is to be open in order to learn from other people many different ideas. But most importantly of all is to check the facts and check the documents and check to make sure that it's valid, because there's a lot of people's ideas out there that are being grabbed onto that aren't really truth, or it's not really going to give you what you need. So coming into a space of much more willingness to learn, much more willingness to realize a lot of what we've been taught is a lie, and reach out for our higher self and the magic that we have and the power that we have as human beings through our intelligence and our creativity and our imagination. That's another way that we can begin to affect the world in a positive way, but it's each individual making that choice. So this back was in very good shape. It was, the muscles felt very pliable, very long. There wasn't a lot of knotting at all in it. So whatever it is that Cindy's doing, she's doing a good job.